We have to make sure that the politicians are held accountable.
Every administration had the ability to put a ban on asbestos.
When it comes to asbestos, it really is about power, money, and politics.
Next up, we have Annamarie Kearns. Just a quick bio on Annamarie as for our social media participants. She is a Meso warrior. She's from West Jordan, Utah. She was diagnosed in 2014 and found herself unable to walk 5 steps without having to stop and catch her breath. Since her diagnosis, she has faced several rounds of chemo and aggressive surgeries, as Linda had mentioned yesterday, and we're so happy to have Annamarie with us for this conference, and I know she's going to continue her efforts as a warrior. So come on up, Annamarie.
I'm a little on the short side. So I'm here to share my story today. My name is Annamarie Kearns. Got my little clicker. And I have malignant pleural mesothelioma. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Linda for giving me the opportunity to share my story. I'm humbled and honored to have received the Alan Reinstein Award. I'm a wife, a mother, a grandma, a survivor. I'm the recipient of a deadly disease that I nor anyone else ever wants to be awarded. Mesothelioma does not, nor will it ever define me. Meso has no love, no friends, no sympathy or empathy. It is born in our bodies from a carcinogen that none of us ever have any control over. So I will cherish this award for my community and Alan, Linda, and Emily, and their sacrifices. In August 2013, my mother passed away from a rare cancer called polycythemia vera. My daughters and I had been taking care of my mom for the past 5 years as she valiantly battled this terrible disease. A week after my mom passed, I started to get sick. This continued into 2014, and after many trips to the doctors, I was continuously told I had pneumonia. When my back started hurting in September, I visited my orthopedic doctor who gave me an MRI. This is where my journey began. After many more doctor visits, I finally found out that I had a rare cancer called mesothelioma and was given 15 to 18 months with chemotherapy. It was hard enough to hear the word cancer and then find out that your cancer was caused by asbestos. Since then, I have endured several painful procedures and have been hospitalized 10 times, had 8 rounds of chemo, 5 rounds pre-surgery, 3 rounds post-surgery. In May of 2015, I had a pleurectomy decortication with 110 degrees inoperative heated chemotherapy that ran through my cavity for 45 minutes before they closed me up. I was in the hospital 11 days with more chest tubes and IVs than I've ever seen before, and then 2 more weeks of recovery in Houston. While recovering, my daughters set up a personal page for me that friends and family could comment and add pics. So this is the shirts that my daughters had made for me. It says Team Anna on it, and a lot of friends would post the pictures, and I got to see them while I was recovering. 9 days after returning home, I ended up in the hospital from hydropneumothorax and was in the hospital another 9 days with chest tubes. I apologize for some of the pictures that will be coming up soon. I'll let you know if you want to look away, you're welcome to do that. A few weeks after returning to Houston for a follow-up, my lung collapsed on an airplane shortly after takeoff. Thankfully, there was a doctor from Baylor College of Medicine on the same flight that saved my life, and had the plane diverted to Dallas, where I was taken to Parkland Hospital Trauma Center with tension pneumothorax. This was a scary enough situation for myself, not knowing what happened, but a complete nightmare for my husband. No luggage, car, or hotel, and unable to fly back home. Pete had to find a place to stay, buy us new clothes, find a way to get us home. 2 of my daughters made the 2-day drive to Dallas to come and rescue their parents. They got to Dallas the day I was released. So now I had to make the 2-day drive home again with more chest tubes. This experience has made me absolutely terrified to fly. Because of all the complications, I was unable to continue my post-chemotherapy until September of 2015 and was so thankful when it was finally all over. 2016 was a good year. I was released to fly and was able to go back to Houston where I was given my first NED, no evidence of disease. My NED continued through the entire year in February, and I attended briefings in DC with the ADAO, had a successful fundraiser in May, raising over $5,000 for the ADAO. And in September, my oldest daughter and I attended Miles for Meso in Alton, Illinois, and raised almost $700 in less than 2 weeks. Everything was perfect because I received another NED in that same month. In January 2017, I returned for a follow-up, as I had every 3 to 4 months. We'd heard the news reoccurrence. I was devastated. I had to change my mindset to fight mode. I'd done this before and I could do it again. So in February 2017, I had a 14.1 centimeter tumor removed from my chest wall cavity. Less than 2 months later in April, I was back to Houston with an air pocket in my chest wall cavity from a leak in my lung and infection. When I woke up from surgery, I had a hole in the side called the Cagle window. My husband had to change my dressings for 9.5 weeks until I went back to Houston to have another surgery in June to have the window closed. 2 weeks in Houston, 2 weeks in Houston for each additional hospital stay. That's a long time to stay every time that you're in Houston. Unfortunately, my biopsy showed some more cancer cells. So a month later, after returning home, I started immunotherapy. After 9 rounds of immunotherapy, I had a few more bumps in the road. I chose to discontinue the immunotherapy as it was causing a toxicity to my joints that mimicked rheumatoid arthritis. It was extremely tough to make that decision because it was keeping my cancer at bay. But I couldn't live like that. I was hardly mobile. I had to rely on my husband for everything. So I decided to enjoy the holidays with my family and wait for my follow-up in 2018 with Dr. Sugarbaker. My PET scan revealed that I had 3 new spots. So once again, I was back 2 weeks later in Houston to rid the cancer from my body. 2 spots were resected from my chest wall, and a tumor that was attached to a rib and also another piece of my rib. On a good note, my joint pain has been better by almost half since I had my last surgery. So I feel like you always have to take the good with the bad. My experience in Houston has been good because I've met so many people from the meso community. I've been able to help other patients get through this disease. The bad part of experience the losses from our community. Nobody will ever put a stamp on my life that's going to dictate my time life. These are some of my caretakers and my doctors, friends, people that I've met from the community, and I really cherish the moments that I've been able to meet these people. Well, that went bye-bye. I've been so blessed by the support from friends, family, and the mesothelioma community, the ADAO, which I'm proud to be a part of. I will not stop fighting or advocating until a cure is found for this horrible disease. And I just want to thank my husband, my family, for everything that they've had to put up with what I've gone through, what they've gone through. And I appreciate all your support. Thank you.